What's going on, guys? So I am behind the wheel of what has to be one of my favorite pickup trucks of all time. This is the 2019 Ram 2500 POWERWAGON. This thing is super cool. 410 horsepower, 429 pound-feet of torque, Warren 12,000-pound Xeon winch up front. This thing has a front disconnect for the sway bar. It has probably the most articulation you're going to get out of any pickup truck on the road. And again, it's a 3/4 ton. This thing is freaking awesome. And I loved driving it during the media event, and I love having one right now. So I'm going to have this truck for a while so I can give you my impressions of this badass truck and more of a long-term evaluation. When you get behind the wheel of this thing, it feels massive on the road. It feels high up, feels stable. This is just a really, really cool truck. This specific one is equipped with the 12-inch Uconnect screen as well. This thing is just amazing. I really, really like this truck, and they've nailed it in so many ways. The interior of this truck is simply amazing, and I still have to give credit to Ram for easily outpacing the competition when it comes to the interiors of these new trucks. They've just nailed it. In terms of power output, the 410 horsepower and 429 pound-feet of torque propel this thing like a rocket. It sounds great when you're doing it. So when you hit that throttle, it just gives you that great V8 tone that you expect from the 6.4-liter Hemi that's in this. This truck is absolutely designed to give you peace of mind whether you're on pavement, whether you're on the beach, or whether you're going through mud or rocks. It is really designed to be that one-stop shop if you want an off-road capable truck. Now, I had an opportunity to drive the GMC AT4 2500, and I can tell you a few things. First of all, the AT4 handles a little different than this truck. This truck gives you more of that off-road suspension feel to it. I feel like the AT4 had a smoother overall ride and smoother composure to it. Now, I am really going to be interested in driving the Ford Super Duty Tremor Edition, because that, again, it's more of like an AT4 style package where it's a mild lift. It gives you arguably larger wheels and tires. It gives you a little bit more aggressive look, better skid protection, things like that. But when it comes to a purpose-built off-road yet on-road capable truck, that's really where the POWERWAGON shines. There aren't a lot of trucks that can compete directly against this truck for what it's designed to do. Okay, so let's talk about some of the mechanical towing specifications of this truck. So the 6.4-liter Hemi is paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. This truck has a little over 1,100 pounds worth of cargo capacity. So that's something you definitely want to be aware of if you're going to be using this truck to haul a trailer, really of any type. If you're going to be going with something like a cargo or a utility trailer, and you're only going to put maybe 300 or 400 pounds worth of weight on the back hitch, then you might be okay. But in no way should you use this truck to haul a fifth wheel. And I know a lot of people are going to be bummed out by that because they're probably hoping that would be the type of trailer they could potentially haul with this truck. But in terms of payload capacity as well as towing capacity, this truck has fairly low numbers for what it is. 10,000 and change in terms of towing capacity. So you're definitely going to want to be careful what you hitch up behind this. 10,350 pounds to be exact. So again, a little over 1,100 pounds payload capacity and 10,350 pounds worth of towing capacity. This is the right truck for a very small travel trailer, or, you know, something that definitely isn't going to be what I would consider 3/4 ton territory for most trucks. It does, however, give you a trailer brake controller as well as your traditional 7-way and 4-way connection in the back if you are going to haul something, let's say a 5,000 or 6,000 pound trailer. Just keep in mind, when you have the tongue weight of your typical travel trailer and it equals roughly 600 to 700 pounds, that's only going to leave you roughly 400 pounds worth of payload capacity in this truck if you plan on hauling anything else. Now, in terms of off-road capability, that is really where this truck shines. It gives you so much off-road equipment. First, front sway bar disconnect gives you a tremendous amount of articulation if you're going to be going over rocks or really rough, uneven terrain. Front and rear locking differential. Again, huge perk for a truck like this, to be able to lock all your axles up and give you the ability to essentially crawl forward with all four wheels spinning. that is really going to give you a lot of capability as well. Goodyear Wrangler Duratrack tires, stock. These are very capable tires. I know a lot of you off-road junkies are going to say that's not the best tire for all applications, but it is sure as heck a good tire for a factory-equipped truck. Plus, in 4-low, you can get upwards of 50 to 55 miles an hour. Most trucks, you're lucky to get about 25 miles an hour. So you really have a capable transfer case in this truck. And one feature that I definitely don't want to forget about is one that I think is absolutely great, and I think that Ram nailed it with it because this is such an important thing for people who tow, and that is a power tow mirror. I'm not talking about the main piece of glass. Everyone has the main mirror that you can articulate and turn. This one gives you the ability to adjust your tow mirror as well electronically from inside of the truck, which is a huge convenience. I don't know how many times I'm trying to direct someone in the passenger seat where to adjust my tow mirror on my truck because maybe when I was washing it, it got out of kilter slightly. So that is a huge feature as well. Okay guys, so one thing I can tell you about the ride in this Power Wagon is that it definitely leans more towards 3/4 ton territory than half-ton territory, which is a little surprising considering that it has a relatively low cargo capacity, which is more in line with a half-ton. I do have to commend Ram in making a very solid feeling cab, a very solid feeling truck in general. Going over these bumps, you don't hear any type of creaking. You don't hear anything that would make you feel as if the truck isn't well put together. And I really have to say that they've done a great job of making the truck feel solid. It doesn't handle the bumps in so much of a jarring fashion as it does more of a firm fashion. It recovers quickly. You can tell that it takes the bump, but it definitely translates some of that to the driver and passengers as a rough ride. But again, it is a 3/4 ton truck, so even though it may not have the payload capacity of a 3/4 ton truck, it definitely has the ride characteristics of one. Now, you all may remember I drove around a white 2500 Lone Star Edition several months ago, which also had the 6.4 liter in it, and they feel very similar to each other. This truck, of course, is going to have a far more enhanced suspension system, and it's going to have beefier off-road tires, but in general, it doesn't feel that different from your standard 3/4 ton truck. So if you're looking to have probably the most capable factory four-wheel drive truck out there, this would be it. And a lot of people might come back and say, well, is it more capable off-road than a Raptor? And I would argue or venture to say that it is, predominantly because it has a winch that's included. So if you get into a position where you're stuck, a winch might be the only way to get out of that position, and this is the only truck that comes stock with a winch integrated into the front bumper, and it's a pretty high-end winch at that. Now, in terms of overall value, this truck carries a $68,100 MSRP, and that is very expensive for any type of pickup truck, let alone one with this package. But the thing about this truck that really makes it stand out is the fact that you get all the great technology. You get the 360 camera, you get the high center mount camera, you get a trailer towing package, you also get a 12-inch Uconnect screen, which simply looks beautiful. You get the leather interior, sunroof, step sides, and most notably, the Power Wagon package, which is going to give you all of the off-road capability, more so than any other 3/4 ton truck or even half-ton truck that you're going to be able to buy on the market. And when you combine all of that together, it really does equal to a pretty good value in terms of competitive advantages over similar trucks from other manufacturers, because there really is no similar truck from another manufacturer. There are trucks that exceed its payload capacity, that exceed its towing capacity, but none of them are going to go head-to-head against it in terms of off-road. And where those trucks shine, if you want to have a truck that competes against them, you can easily get a four-wheel drive standard 3/4 ton truck from any of the manufacturers to compete against their off-road trim package versions. So at the end of the day, I think that the Power Wagon is actually a pretty good buy at $68,100. The challenge you're going to have is dealerships really don't like to come off the price much on these because they are so desirable. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to have the truck for a while longer, so I will make some more videos in it, and I will give you a final impressions video in a couple of days. If you guys haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, please give me a thumbs up, and I will talk to you again very soon.